Hello everyone. This is Candid Learners. I hope you're all doing well. Lately, I've been posting videos on VB.net random projects, but I've realized I haven't posted any videos for complete beginners, those who want to start programming from scratch. So, in the coming weeks, I will be posting continuing lessons for complete beginners, and this is going to be our first lesson where I'm going to start by explaining all the basics you need to know to get started. I'll add a link in the comments section to download the Visual Basic software. You'll need to install it on your device so you can follow along as I'll be showing you some things. Before we get started, here are some common reasons why you might need to learn VB.net. Windows Desktop Application Development. VB.net is a popular language for building Windows desktop applications, particularly for the .NET framework. If you need to create Windows programs that interact with the operating system, files, databases, etc., VB.net is a useful language to know. Microsoft Office Automation. VB.net integrates well with Microsoft Office products like Excel, Word, PowerPoint, etc. It can be used to automate Office tasks and create custom add-ins and plugins. Enterprise Software Development. Many large organizations and enterprises use VB.net for their internal business software, such as ERP, CRM, and other line-of-business applications. Learning VB.net can open up job opportunities in these types of environments. For this video, I'm going to explain how to start a project using the Visual Basic 2012 software, as this version runs smoothly on many devices and can accommodate a wider audience. When you launch Visual Studio 2012, you'll be presented with the Start page. The layout may be slightly different with other versions, but the core concept is pretty much the same, so you don't have to worry too much about that. To start a new Visual Studio 2012 project, click on New Project under the Start section to launch the Visual Studio 2012 New Project page. The New Project page comprises three templates: Visual Basic, Visual C# and Visual C++. Since we are going to learn Visual Basic 2012, we shall select Visual Basic. Visual Basic 2012 offers you 4 types of projects that you can create. They are Windows Forms Application, WPF Application, Console Application, and Class Library. Since we are going to learn how to create Windows desktop applications, we shall select Windows Forms Application. At the bottom of this dialog box, you can change the default project name Windows Application 1 to some other name you like, for example, My First Program. After renaming the project, click OK to launch the Visual Basic 2012 IDE, as shown. Visual Basic Express 2012 IDE comprises a few windows: the Form window, the Solution Explorer window, and the Properties window. It also consists of a toolbox which contains many useful controls that allows a programmer to develop his or her Visual Basic 2012 programs. To make the Toolbox tab visible, click on the View menu and select the option where it says Toolbox. So, the first thing we're going to do is change the name of our form from Form 1 to whatever name we like. For my form, I'm going to rename it to My First Project. To do this, click on the form first, and then in the Properties tab, locate the Text property and rename the form to your desired name. Perfect. Now from our toolbox, let's drag a button and place it on our form. Just like we renamed our form, click on the button to make sure it's selected, and then go to the Text property in the Properties tab and change the text to OK. Now, let's double-click on our button to write our first line of code. We're going to use the MessageBox function to write a message that will pop up when we click the button. Note that whatever we write inside the quotes is what will appear as our message. Now let's run our first program to see if it's working. It's working fine. So, this is it for our first lesson. Okay, great. Let's summarize what we've covered in this first lesson. We launched Visual Studio 2012 and were presented with the Start page. We made the Toolbox tab visible by going to the View menu. We renamed the default Form 1 to My First Project by editing the text property in the Properties tab. We dragged a button from the toolbox and placed it on the form, then changed the text property of the button to OK. We double-clicked the button to write our first line of code, using the MessageBox function to display a message. Finally, we ran the program to verify that it's working as expected.